It's an ornamental border, the edge of town, a hairstyle for women, and a type of beard. It's associated with experimental theatre, radical political groups, public hangings, lunatics, and job perks. If you'd like to know more about this colourful word, stick around. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to The English Nut. Thanks. The word fringe is used in many interesting ways. Its original use is as a noun to describe an ornamental border for clothing or other cloth items, a border made of short threads, cords, or loops. A dress may have a fringe, so may a carpet, curtain, or lampshade. Fringe can also mean the outer edges of an area or even a group. You can talk about the fringes of a city, the area between the city center and the outskirts. A fringe area is the periphery of a region. It can also mean an area in which the reception from a particular broadcasting station is weak. Figuratively, fringe can be used to refer to people with unorthodox ideas. Groups of such people are sometimes called radical fringe groups. A fringe is also a hairstyle in which the front part of the hair, usually of girls or women, is cut short over the forehead. The American English term for this type of hairstyle is bangs. One of the first instances of the use of fringe to describe this hairstyle is from an advertisement in a women's magazine called The Queen in 1876. Curled or waved fringes for the front hair, says the ad. However, much before fringe was the name of a hairstyle for women, it described men's facial hair. Novelist Charles Dickens wrote in a letter in 1853, "I seized my best razor and as a great example shaved off the whole of the Newgate fringe from under my chin." Newgate fringe was obviously a term for a type of beard, one growing like a fringe below the chin. It got its name from the hangman's rope, which occupies the same position when a man is about to be hanged. What a gruesome reference! Newgate Prison was a notorious prison in London. Public hangings took place outside it. Lunatic fringe is a term used to label members of a social or political group as eccentric or fanatical. This term was popularized by American President Theodore Roosevelt. He said, "Among the wise and high-minded people who in self-respecting and genuine fashion strive earnestly for peace, there are foolish fanatics always to be found in such a movement and always discrediting it. The men who form the lunatic fringe in all reform movements." Lunatic Fringe is also the title of a 1981 hit song by Canadian rock group Red Rider. Guitarist Tom Cochrane wrote the song because he was concerned about anti-Semitism, which had been on the rise in the 1970s. The song begins, "I know you're out there, you're in hiding, and you hold your meetings. I can hear you coming, and we know what you're after. We're wise to you this time. We won't let you kill the laughter." While anti-Semitism was what made Cochrane write the lyrics, what prompted him to record the song was the murder of musician John Lennon, former member of English rock band Beatles. Lennon was shot dead by Mark David Chapman in New York City in 1980. Chapman, who had been a fan of the Beatles, turned against Lennon because of certain public statements made by the latter, such as his remark that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus. Chapman was also offended by the lyrics of certain songs by Lennon, such as Imagine, which he considered communist. Chapman was, I suppose, a part of the lunatic fringe. In fact, Chapman's lawyers tried to mount an insanity defense, but eventually he was given a sentence of 20 years to life. The judge ordered psychiatric treatment for him as well. Chapman is still in prison, having been denied parole several times. Imagine is a beautiful song, by the way. If you haven't heard it, please do. Fringe theatre is theatre that's not mainstream or traditional. It's experimental and small scale. The term comes from the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, ironically the world's largest arts festival. To give you an idea of its scale, its 2018 edition had 55,000 performances of 3,548 different shows in 317 venues. But it started out as an alternative to the Edinburgh International Festival and hence the name. Also, it is an unjuried performing arts festival, meaning that there is no selection committee, so anyone can participate with any type of performance, helping the festival retain its experimental character despite its size. The festival is also referred to simply as the Fringe. It takes place in Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, every August. Fringe benefits are the benefits or perks that employers give their employees above and beyond the salary. These may include things like a company car, free lunch, employee insurance, and stock options. The first recorded use of this term is from 1952. Fringe can also be used as a verb. For example, there were several villages fringing the town, or the lake was fringed by swamps. The noun fringe was first used in English in the early 14th century to mean an ornamental border or the material used for it. It came from the old French word frange, which had a similar meaning. Frange came from the vulgar Latin frimbia, a variation of the Latin fimbria, plural fimbriae, meaning fibers, threads, or fringe. Interestingly, the word fimbria is used today for a hair-like appendage found on the surface of bacteria. A bacterium may have dozens of these fimbriae, which look rather like a fringe in its original sense. The usage of fringe to mean border or edge dates back to the 1640s. The figurative use as outer edge or margin is first recorded in 1894. Its use as an adjective is from 1809. I'm the English Nut. Bye for now.